Hey everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to the after party discussion of Loki Season 2, Episode 2. Guys, another fire episode. This episode was titled Breaking Brad, which I loved, and I'll say more about that in a minute. Of course, Chaotix, you said fire episode. Chaotix, you had the fire emoji. Yeah, definitely a damn good episode. And I'm going to wait for a couple more people to get in here, but I loved how we got 2 people in here. Make sure to like the stream. But yeah, I loved how it was titled Breaking Brad because literally they broke Brad to get the information of where Sylvie was. I just want to start. Yeah, Bethany, you said it was sad. It was definitely sad. I do gotta say so. But I for starters, starting off, I was correct. Loki wore this outfit in this episode, so I just want to give a round of applause to myself that I actually didn't second guess myself and I actually just did it and I wore it. Along with other things, you know what I mean, about, it working out, so that way I don't have to wear it next week because I have to, like, after my after party discussion for episode 3 next week, like I said, I gotta change into my Spider-Man costume and I gotta get going to the, go get the game and get there before 12 o'clock, before the release party for Spider-Man 2 next Thursday. So I'm really glad that I was right. He did wear this outfit in this episode, and all my kind of, me kind of piecing the episode together, I was correct. And initially, if you guys saw my pre-show discussion for episode 2 of Loki, I had the picture where Mobius and Loki were looking over Obi's desk, seeing him, make that device to try to fix the temporal loom. So I was actually correct about that before I changed it to both of them wearing their tuxes. So I actually am very glad that, I was right about that. I didn't even need to change it because it was all one episode. So I was actually clever, piecing the trailer together. Hell yeah, you picked up the right outfit. I did definitely pick out the right outfit. So I'm really, really glad I picked out the right outfit for this. But yeah, it was cool seeing the interaction between Sylvie and Loki again. That fight sequence to try to stop Dox from pruning the branches. Even though they failed, they kicked ass. The moment where, like, Sylvie said don't overthink it and they grabbed each other's hand and they did their, like, magic, that shit was so sick. It was so fire. I was like, that's fire. The whole fight sequence was really, really cool. Seeing also Sylvie gear back up when she knew that that's what the plan was. That's what the, Dox was trying to do, and, everything was gonna, there was a chance that even that branch timeline could be gone. It shocks me that that branch wasn't gone. So what makes me wonder is that I think that is going to motivate Sylvie to be like, I don't want to lose the life I started here. I have to go. And, I do got to listen to Loki, and we do see what's at stake. And even though if the TVA doesn't work from what I'm seeing, Loki is trying. He knows that the TVA needs the change. He's trying to explain to Sylvie is that you didn't, you took out one boogeyman, but another one is coming back. In the moment where she said, I'll just, when Loki's like, I'll just, what if another one pops up, what another He Who Remains pops back up, and she's like, I'll kill him. I'm like, the music there is like, it's not going to be that so simple as you killing another variant of He Who Remains. It's not going to go the way you think. So, and we kind of see that in the trailer that Sylvie ends up finding that Victor Timely, and it looks like she's going to go try to stab him, but it's not going to go the way she thinks. And even if it does, and let's say she does kill Victor Timely, it's only going to make more worse, variants of Kang pop back up. Maybe one that's not going to be so easy to kill, and I don't think Victor Timely is going to be so easy to kill. I really don't think so. Bethany, you said they did some power wave magic. Yeah, they should have done that first. They really should have. But I loved how they kind of all did their own version of, like, their own fighting until they got to that moment. Jerry said loved the episode too, bro. Chaotix, he said only problem with the episode was the awkward product placement moments. I liked it though. It made sense. I think if any show is gonna have it, it should have been this show. It's kind of no different than, Rick and Morty and their awkward product placement. It makes sense. It's a time travel show. I loved it. It's so clever to bring an old style McDonald's to a show like this. That's very 60s aesthetic. This show. The aesthetic is great, and I think it fits. So I loved it. I loved the McDonald's sequence, especially Mobius saying, I can't leave anywhere until I get my apple pie, until I get a pie. I love that. I thought that was really, really cool. Especially seeing the the was it the key lime pie with the I forget what it was called. I think it was called like the it was like it said something on the back when they were in the pie room. I think it was like something pie, but I loved how they were eating the key lime pie. And I just loved the moment where like him and Mobius were talking when like Mobius lost his shit when he like smacked the hell out of Brad Wolf. Well, he smacked Brad, of course, aka X Hunter X15, right? Or Hunter X5, that's his name. That's his actual name, or not his real name, I guess you could say, or maybe it is his name, Brad Wolf. But you know what I mean. So we do find out, Hunter X5's actual name is Brad Wolf. So seeing the moment where like he was, I really thought Loki was gonna lose his cool when Brad mentioned his mother. I was like, nah, bro, you messed up. I'm like, he's about to f your shit up. But yeah, honestly though, I loved this episode, and it really was sad them all staring at the branches being gone, like the pruned branches, like they just were slowly disintegrating, and it was very sad because that's just lives gone, and that's what Docs doesn't understand is that they're okay with doing this because it works when it's not right. Just because something works and there was a philosophy you grew up with or whatever doesn't mean it's right. You know what I mean with that, and it's kind of like I love the line being drawn in the sand of like people when they've been when they've had the kind of something that's just you're used to it and you think it's right doesn't mean it's right. And I love just the line drawn in the sand of like there's people that want to be for the pruning the branches because it works, and there's people that know when you prune the branches you're killing millions. So I really just love that part of the episode, and I really just love the cinematography. I just can't say enough about it, but the set work and the set design for this season is outstanding. It's phenomenal. I forget. You said, Beth. You said, You said, Bethany. You said, yeah. I noticed that music was great. Yeah, the music was just phenomenal. Bethany said, I loved when Loki did magic and his shadows had horns. I loved that too. His shadows were holding back Brad. I loved that. I thought that was really, really clever. Chaotix said, yeah, the shadows were great. I definitely thought so. Chaotix also said, was interesting to see that X5 was a good guy all along. Yeah, essentially he was. Like he knew where Sylvie was, and like he wanted to leave. It seems like he doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to be left alone and wants to be on the sacred timeline. He doesn't want to do anything else. That's why he left this post. He was supposed to find Sylvie, found Sylvie, and then left. He doesn't care about anything else. So it is nice to kind of see that Brad really isn't a part of what Docs was trying to do, essentially, from what my understanding is. So that is pretty interesting. I don't know if we'll see Docs again. I think that's probably the last time we'll see him. I can't imagine we could do much with him unless he's going to work with them. But I highly doubt he will because I feel like he's still an asshole. So I don't know if we're going to see Docs helping out Mobius and Loki kind of like make a new TVA where like they keep branches and they just take out, Kang variants as we go on. Eventually, I'm wondering by the end of the series if we will see kind of the lead up to Deadpool 3 because we know that the TVA is building the multiverse Avengers essentially to fight, the Council of Kang. So I am wondering if we're going to get anything at the end of this series that kind of alludes to the events of what we're going to be getting in Deadpool 3. Because we know, of course, Owen Wilson is confirmed to be playing Mobius, of course, in Deadpool 3 and building the multiverse Avengers in that film. So I do wonder, and I know they're probably keeping it hidden. I bet you Tom Hiddleston probably filmed scenes for that, if not maybe before the SAG strike happened and before the writer's strike happens. I bet you maybe he filmed scenes already, and maybe if he didn't, I bet you he is going to before that movie ends. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the end credit, where like Mobius and Loki end up popping up and they have to recruit, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and of course, Wade Wilson's, of course, Deadpool. Or not, my bad. I mean, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and of course, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. It didn't make sense. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. But I'm also curious to know at the end of all this, like by the end of the series, do you think Sylvie will like stay with the TVA and work with Loki? I hope so. But at the same time, I could see it where like she wants to just have a normal life and she just goes on that branch. And, Loki is working at the TVA with Mobius. But I feel like she knows what's at stake now. I feel like she will stay with Loki until this is all over. And of course, I think they'll be all happily ever after like Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. But this was just a great episode. I loved this episode. I thought it was really cool. Bethy's, I miss when Loki does magic. I wish he'd do it more. I think he is. I think this is probably the most we've seen Loki do magic out of season one. This is definitely the most we've seen, and I love it. I mean, it's no longer a problem because he doesn't have that kind of collar on, so he can use his magic now. He's no longer like a variant type prisoner threat to the TVA. He is now an agent of the TVA, of the new TVA that they're trying to create, so he can use his magic more. So I love that. I think it's really, really cool. Um, Emily Keller, you said loved that they mentioned the Battle of New York with Loki. Same, I loved it too. I thought it was really, really cool. Chaotic said Sylvie will stay with the TVA until her timeline is safe. That's what I'm thinking. But at the same time, I think that she knows what's at stake, and I think she will stay with Loki at the TVA. I do think that's probably how it will end and how it will go, but time will tell. I really don't know. That's the happiest we've kind of seen Sylvie. It kind of upsets me that she was upset to see Loki, but at the same time, that's just the essence of a Loki, especially for a person like Sylvie that's been on the run her entire life and has kind of had to put her guard up and really has never had the, has never had the kind of like the opportunity and had the luxury to have friends. It made sense that she kind of kept her guard up, especially after she kind of hurt Loki. She kicked him through the time portal. She did what she needed to do, or what she thinks she needed to do, for things to be safe, when in reality she's about to find out that there is consequences to her actions. So I think eventually, that's just her guard being up, is that, I did hurt him, and I don't want to hurt him again, so I got to keep my guard up. You know what I mean? I can't have friends. You know what I mean? I just need to like be my own person. But I think she was happy to see Loki, no matter what she was saying. I know she was happy to see Loki, whether she said it or not. But I love it. I honestly love it. Great episode, well paced, and just seeing Loki kind of using that mischievous side of him again, really like almost hurting Brad. I thought that was really, really cool. I was like, that's classic Loki, when you put him in like that kind of like, it looked like almost like a temporal door, but like it was like a block almost that you got trapped in. So it was like a 3D model of like when you use the temp pad and you use the temp pad doors, but it was like 3D version where you could shrink and kind of like murder someone. So I loved how kind of like I don't know if that's the use of that device, but Loki used it as a weapon. I really did like that. I thought that was really cool. That he said the Battle of New York mention was fun. It definitely was fun. I liked it. I also liked how he used it as a metaphor of like, sometimes you lose your cool. I lost my cool when when me trying to use the time stone or the mind stone on Tony didn't work. I threw him off the Avengers Tower. So I really did like that. He's kind of using it as a metaphor, is that sometimes you lose your shit. You know what I mean? It's one of those days. I like that. I like how Loki's grown. He's not that dude anymore. That is just he found someone that he can open up to. And I love that. He found someone that can say you can change. And that is the good writing of season 1 that has led us to this Loki. I'm so happy. I love it so much that he has a friend to talk to. It's so great. It's so awesome. It's something I never thought I would see with Loki, but I love it. So great. Bethany, you said I still don't trust Obi. We'll have to just wait and see. Also, Bethany, you said, what do you think will happen next week? Oh, they found Renslayer, so I bet you we will see Hugh or Victor Timely next week, probably. Or maybe I just thought about this too. What if we get another cliffhanger like we did at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, where like we do see Victor Timely on the stage, and and then it kind of cuts the way it ended in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. What if they cut it off like that? What if they do that for episode 3? Like they walk in there and then the curtains open, and then, or what if it ends on like it's him or whatever, and like it ends the way the end credit ended for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? I'm gonna keep that theory because that would be a really cool way to end episode 3, and then episode 4 picks up where like they know it's him, and kind of like they have to figure out what to do now that there is another version of Kang, and him trying to explain to Mobius that is the dude, that's him. So maybe that's the way episode 3 ends of next week. Maybe they find Renslayer, but they also find at the end of the episode, oh my god, Kang is here. Like there's a version of Kang here. Victor Timely is a variant of Kang. That's not good. There's a variant here. So maybe that's how they end it, the way they ended it for the end credit for Ant-Man. Let me know if like you guys like that. I would think that would be pretty sick if that's how they end episode 3. That would entice a lot of people and make people really excited for episode 4. So I don't know. I thought this was just a well paced episode, and it keeps up with the tension, and especially that chase sequence of how we started the episode. I thought it was brilliant. I thought, what a way to get people's blood pumping, especially after last week's episode, to keep the momentum up. Also, Beth, you said the box reminded me of Aladdin when the genie was in the box. Well, yeah, that's actually a good kind of comparison. Emily, you said I think Loki will the well, you said I think Loki will the owner of the TVA, like, or is the owner of the TVA. Do you think Loki is the owner of the TVA? Is that what you're saying? Or like, do you think he will become the owner of the TVA? Or do you think he is? Let me know what you mean by that, Emily, because that would be pretty. Wouldn't it be crazy if like he was the one that created the TVA, Loki? I highly doubt it, but like that'd be crazy. But I think he will kind of be like the one in charge if like they make Loki in charge. That'd be I would be okay with that. He's has the morals now where I would be okay with that, and I would it would be really really cool. Bethy, you said yeah. Will will what? Will you saying will like Loki will be maybe that would be cool. Like if he did, like what if he was or what if he will be the owner of the TVA? That would be cool. Like I said, like what if because we also I don't know if anybody knows this, but from the trailers, Loki has seen himself. So that's why when Loki got prunes at the end of episode 1 of last week, I was like, that's Loki. Loki pruned himself. Like it's gonna be a full circle moment where this Loki, the one that's in the jacket, ends up coming across himself as like, wait a second, I need to prune myself so I can it's like a full circle moment. It is like, Obi's name, like like the snake that eats his own tail. That's how time works. So it would be really cool that Loki is going to prune himself, so the events of what would have already have happened happen. So I really do love that. That Loki is going to be the one that prunes himself. I feel like we all kind of know that because of the time slipping and kind of how they did acknowledge the fact of setting up time slipping of him going from the future to the past to the past to the future. So he's going to go into he's going to go in, like, I guess go to the point of the future where he is going to have to prune his past self that went back, or his future self that went back to the past, or went back to the future, because his future version went back to the way ahead future where our present Loki is going to be getting. So he's going to have to go to that even way farther distant future of our past Loki. So that's going to be really, really cool. That was a mouthful, but you guys probably understood that. Emily, you said, I think he will be the owner of the TVA. I meant that would be cool. That would be sick if like he ends up becoming the owner of the TVA. I can't imagine he's been the owner the entire time, but if he becomes the owner, I think that'd be really dope. Because as we know, the TVA is going under kind of new management, of course, with Mobius, B-15, and of course Loki kind of being in charge of what's going on. Now that Dox is out of the way, I don't think Dox will be a problem anymore. So I think that we are in for just also we know that there is now rogue kind of hunters out there. So I don't know what that means. I don't. The kind of Dox kind of did what she wanted to do. Her plan worked. So what does that mean for Dox? What does it mean for what's his name? Brad. Like what does it mean for these characters going forward? We really don't know. There's still a bigger problem at hand of why is Loki time slipping? What is Renslayer trying to do? What does that kind of that audio footage mean of Renslayer, and also Loki said in this episode that was He Who Remains that was talking on that audio in the past. That was He Who Remains talking to Renslayer. So my theory of Victor Timely being He Who Remains, I think they confirmed that. So I'm gonna take that as a dub. That I think I'm correct by Loki saying that I do think that Victor Timely does become He Who Remains. We are seeing the beginning of the TVA kind of. We saw the kind of TVA, deep. I guess way past its kind of startings, and that Victor Timely probably does become the conqueror of the TVA and ends up becoming the statue that we know of. He Who Remains. So maybe he got out of that conqueror state, which he did say that he, was kind of a conqueror at one point of that version. I guess you could say of the branch timeline. So that statue that we saw is a conqueror version, aka the past version of He Who Remains, before he becomes the kind of the more peaceful version that we end up seeing at the end of Loki in the finale of season 1. So I do like how we're kind of seeing the stages of the version of He Who Remains that we saw in the finale being played out here. And that is, of course, the use of the time slipping and, of course, Miss Minutes giving, Ravonna the files to find Victor Timely to kind of maybe the. Because my theory is that this is going to set the way for Victor Timely getting the technology to create the TVA. So maybe this is kind of a full-on loop like time is that that's what needed to happen for Victor Timely to create the TVA, is Ravonna getting the files. It's like a full circle. Like, Victor Timely's still going to die, but Ravonna needs to go back to make it start, so Victor Timely starts the TVA. Maybe it's a full circle, like, again, of Obi's name being the snake that eats his own tail. It's like, that's how time works. It's just a full circle. So I feel like my theories are honestly right about this, and we're going to see it all play out. So because I do think even in the trailer when, like, Ravonna is working, it looks like she's working with Victor Timely and, like, have, like, and when she has, like, that, like, the first generation of a prune stick, but it almost looks like a looks like a minigun that she's holding. I do think that she is slowly trying to, again, she can't fully advance because they need to have things, like, be played out by a script. So maybe that was the script of how she needed to kind of, like, give technology to that Victor Timely, where, like, things would be paced very well, because, again, as He Who Remains said, everything needs to be played by a script. I mean, things need to play out the way they need to be played out. So I do like that. I think it's really, really cool. Normie, you said, or Nomi, Lafi-san, you said, oh my God, he was so good in the episode, and I can't wait for the next episode. I agree. Same right here with you, Nomi. I'm super excited for next week. I'm so glad I wore my outfit. I'm so glad this was the episode. Clutch. It was so clutch that I was correct. I'm so happy I was right. But yeah, honestly, I think we're in for a hell of a treat next week. I think next week will be the episode where, like, Mobius and Loki end up going back in the past, end up coming across Renslayer, and I wouldn't be surprised if that moment where they're sitting in that kind of, kind of in that showroom where, like, again, where it says, like, Victor Timely or whatever, and of course, the curtains open and we end up seeing, Kang's face, or a variant of Kang. I think I would not be surprised if that's how the episode ends, and then we pick up with episode 4. So let me know, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that that's how the episode's going to end? Like, we won't see Victor Timely until the end of the episode? That's a possibility, but we'll have to just wait and see how it all plays out next week. I just know that we're in for a damn good episode. Next week in general is a great day for me, because, like I said, we got Loki pre-show, or maybe we have my unboxing for the collector's edition for Spider-Man early Thursday. I will be live streaming if I do get it that early Thursday. We have the pre-show and after-party discussion for Loki. And then after that, I'm going to be streaming for the midnight release party at my local GameStop. So, like, we have a lot of stuff next week. So if you're interested in Spider-Man, and if you're excited for, or if you're excited for Loki, and if you're excited for Spider-Man, you got some great content to watch, guys, next week. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be super fun next week. But yeah, guys, that's really all I gotta say about the episode. Guys, let me know if anybody has any last minute comments to put down before I end stream. I'm actually gonna take off my jacket right now because I'm gonna start to, like, get ready to end stream, like I said. But yeah, I think that was a damn good episode. I really, really do think it was really, really good. So. Jerry, you said that kind of leads into my theory about Kang. Great minds must think alike. Facts, bro. Facts. I think Victor Timely is a past version of Kang, and the one in Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man 3 is present day Kang. He Who Remains is the future version. I like that too. Like I said, past. Victor Timely is past. Kang is kind of, the middle future, and then kind of, He Remains is, like, the future. But you know what I mean? And it would be cool though if, like, maybe he was the conqueror. Like I said, that maybe we did get an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, that Kang that we of the statue. Maybe that was him, or something like that. Or maybe that's the future version. I'm not quite sure. It's very hard to say. But I do like the theory that you did have, though. Jerry, it was a damn good theory. Chaotix, you said see ya. Thank you again for being here. Hope to see you next week, next Thursday, for the pre-show and after party discussion. Bethany, you said last season he was great in the final episode, but I'd love to see him more. Who would you like to see more? Are you talking about Jonathan Majors, as Kang, or a version of Kang, a variant? Like, let me know. I am excited. To see what Jonathan Majors has up his sleeve playing Victor Timely, because I love seeing him play different versions of Kang. It's super, super fun. And I wonder how this version is going to be, if he is maybe the same version, but like at a different time. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see how that's all going to play out. Because like I said, my theory is that Victor Timely, Ramona goes back to give the necessary needs, so he will become He Who Remains eventually. But he has to go through the stage of becoming the Conqueror, and then becoming, of course, He Who Remains. And it's like a full circle. Yeah, same, Bethany. I'm excited to see him. You know what I mean? Do a very, be this version of Kang. I am excited. Bethany, I hope he's in more than one episode. I think he's going to be in the next couple of episodes, if I'm being honest. I think he's going to be in the next couple, at least like 3. I think maybe we'll see him in next week. I know for sure we're going to see him in episode 4. I know for sure we're going to see him in episode 5, probably. I don't know much about episode 6, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I am excited. I thought this was, I just can't wait to keep going into the mystery more and more. But guys, yet again, I'm going to be ending the stream here. So yet again here, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, post notifications. Again, like this stream, share the stream, let people know that we do these every Thursday, of course, at 8 p.m. EST. Of course, I will be starting, every stream going forward at 7:45. So I could be playing my pre-streamer, which you guys saw the debut of the pre-streamer I created. You guys saw that today. So super excited I was able to do that today. But yeah, next week's going to be crazy, and hopefully you guys will see a lot of that stuff, especially if you're interested in Spider-Man. There's a lot of stuff coming next week. But yet again, guys, that was the stream. Hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.